Today's Chiefs Report is presented by True Classic. Check out their polos, their t-shirts, their jeans, their chinos, all their other clothing items at trueclassic.com/chat. Code chat gets you 25% off at checkout. Coming up here in just a little bit, the latest rumors around Frank Clark. Could he return to Kansas City? Will he sign elsewhere? We'll get you caught up on the latest there in just a little bit. But first, let's get a DeAndre Hopkins update. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reports that the Bills and Chiefs could be in a, quote, arms race for DeAndre Hopkins. His cut from Arizona officially went through today, so he is now free to sign with any team. Here is Fowler on ESPN Radio this morning. He says, "My money would still be on the Bills or Chiefs working something out. They just don't have a lot of money in cap space. I will add, or let me finish this quote. I still suspect that you have two contenders in the AFC that are trying to combat each other and make sure one doesn't get Hopkins over the other, so it's a little bit of an arms race there." Read this from Rappaport, then I'll add another note from Adam Schefter. Rappaport says DeAndre Hopkins has hired Kelton Crenshaw of Clutch Sports to represent him in free agency. Hopkins had previously represented himself before signing with Crenshaw, who also reps Chase Young, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Devontae Smith. Now, I'll add from Adam Schefter, too. He reportedly said that it's unlikely that the Bills will land Hopkins, at least at this point in time, due to the money factor. And obviously with Kansas City, money is a tricky thing as well, because I think with Hopkins signing with Clutch Sports, that tells me he's not taking a discount. Like, he's going to look for a big contract. Now, how big? I mean, could he get the OBJ deal where it's, you know, kind of you add void years on the end of it, so you're paying him on your books beyond a one-year deal, but his cap hit this year is low. Maybe it's something like that, but he's going to want a lot of cash, so I think that's definitely clear with him signing with Clutch Sports. Now, should the Chiefs sign DeAndre Hopkins? What do you guys think? Type S for sign or P for pass. Let me know down in the comment section below. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. So give me an S for sign or a P for pass. Now, the Chiefs would have to move some money around to make this work. They're dead last in cap space right now with $652,000 available, which isn't even enough for a vet minimum deal at this point in time. Now, they could clear some money pretty easily, and I think it would be worth it for DeAndre Hopkins. I think he could come in here and be a productive player. He's been that throughout his career. We've talked about the last couple of years. He's had some injuries. He had the suspension as well last season. But when he's out there, he's still what I would call like a tier 2 number 1 receiver. Like, he's not a Justin Jefferson or a Devontae Adams at this point, but I think he's still a number 1 for a lot of teams, and I think the Chiefs would be one of those. Like, Kadarius Toney right now is your number 1. He is not proven nearly enough to show Kansas City that he can be that guy. It doesn't mean he won't be. It just means that you're kind of going in blind, hoping that'll be the case. MVS, Skyy Moore, Rashee Rice. Like, you've got good complementary pieces, but you don't have that true number 1. Now, you don't necessarily need it because you have Travis Kelce, and with Mahomes at quarterback, he can kind of just spread the ball around. He proved that last year with Juju as his number 1. But if you're asking me, like, I'm going to get DeAndre Hopkins, and the way I'm doing it is I'm extending Chris Jones to clear up some cap space this year, and I'm paying Nuke. Like, let's go win another Super Bowl, fellas. You can make that happen. You get DeAndre Hopkins. You already had the number 1 offense, most efficient offense last year, and you're upgrading from Juju to D-Hop. That's a big difference at the end of the day. Basically, the rest of your offense is the same outside of the offensive tackle position. So I would absolutely look into making this happen. Extending Chris Jones is a no-brainer anyway. If that nets you D-Hop, whew, let's go play some ball, boys. This offense would be impossible to stop. Shout out to True Classic for sponsoring today's show. And True Classic, I'm rocking one of their polos today, and it's really the perfect Father's Day gift if you don't know what to get your pops. And with Father's Day just around the corner, I know a lot of you fellas out there have put off your Father's Day shopping, and True Classic offers ultra soft, perfectly fitted tees, and that is just the beginning. They have everything you need to complete your wardrobe, from button-downs to Henleys to polos and a whole lot more. Their comfort jeans and chinos are a must-have for anyone who wants to look sharp and feel comfortable all at the same time. But True Classic isn't just about, dress clothes. They also have an active wear line as well. T-shirts, shorts, joggers that are perfect for anyone who stays active, who likes to work out a lot as well. Best part about True Classic, 100% risk-free guarantee and easy returns if you're not satisfied with your purchase for any reason. So go to trueclassic.com/chat, use code chat, get 25% off your order plus free shipping on all purchases over $100. Get your dad the perfect gift this Father's Day. It's really easy. I've always been bad about shopping for my pops on Father's Day, but this year got going with True Classic, and his shirts are arriving in the mail shortly. trueclassic.com/chat, code chat. That link will be in the description and comments of this video. Get 25% off with the promo code chat. All right, let's get to the latest on Frank Clark. More rumors, speculation kind of hitting the Twitter streets that Frank Clark re-signing with the Chiefs continues to be a real possibility. Arrowhead Pride talked about it as well, saying Clark's been critical for the Chiefs these past 4 years, and I still think he has a lot in the tank. If the contract and role work out for the Chiefs, I hope we see him back next year. And a point Arrowhead Pride made in their article that we'll get to in a sec. A couple things. One, they're already paying him $7.6 million because they cut him, and that was his dead cap hit. So he's already counting almost $8 million against your books. So it would have to be relatively cheap. Like, I can't imagine more than $3 or $4 million for Frank Clark on this new deal. But I still think there's a role for him here. Now, what Arrowhead Pride said it, I'm saying it as well. I've said it on prior videos. I don't think he would be a full-time starter like he's been the last couple of years. You pay Charles Omenihu real money. George Karlaftis is going to have an increased role this year. But he can come in and rush the passer. We don't know how ready, NFL ready, Felix Anudike-Uzomah is going to be as a rookie. Is Michael Dana a guy ready for a bigger role? I'm not so sure. Frank Clark's role would absolutely be reduced, but there's still room for him here. Chris Jones wants him back. I think for the right price, it makes sense. Now, the potential DeAndre Hopkins pursuit could throw a wrench into this. You may not be able to sign both of these guys. So, Frank Clark may have to be a little bit more patient here and wait and see how this Hopkins sweepstakes plays out. But I still think there's a scenario where Frank Clark is back on this football team for 2023. We'll have to wait and see. But the longer he remains available, I think the more likely it is that he re-signs with Kansas City. Do you want Frank Clark back in the fold? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. Let me know down in the comment section below. Again, I've said for weeks now, for the right price, I would absolutely bring him back. I'll tell you this. If the Chiefs sign Clark or Hopkins or anyone else, we're going to make a video on it here on the Chiefs Report because that's what we do. We break down the latest Chiefs news, rumors, trade buzz, free agency. That's what we do here on this channel, bringing you all the top headlines around the Kansas City Chiefs. So subscribe, turn on your notifications. Don't ever miss a video here on the Chiefs Report. All right, Chiefs back at OTAs this week for session number 2. Then they'll have their third session next week before mandatory minicamp later in June. So the Chiefs back out on the practice field. We should have some more news and notes as the week goes on, but a lot of pictures and stuff emerging from practice. So more reps, more opportunities for players out there. A lot of new faces as well. This is kind of where we're at on the calendar. Last week's May 22nd through 24th is in the books. I put out a Chiefs OTAs winners and losers from week 1. Go check that out if you haven't already. This week's underway, and then one more next week with 4 consecutive practices before mandatory minicamp in June. So a couple of guys that aren't there during OTAs should be back for that minicamp here in a few weeks. And as far as OTAs go, I don't think OTAs are like incredibly vital to a veteran team like the Chiefs. I think it's nice to be there. Like Mahomes said, it's important to start building those relationships. And I think that's probably a bigger factor. But I think for young guys, learn the playbook, get some extra reps that some veterans don't take advantage of as they either aren't there or kind of, just going through the motions, opportunity to kind of show what you're about. Rashee Rice, I'm looking at you, and other young guys as well. So still an opportunity to see what they do. And any big news and nuggets that emerge as my phone alarm goes off, we will be sure to bring those to you guys. All right, what position battle intrigues you the most? We might do a position battles video later this week, so be on the lookout for that. But what position battle on the team intrigues you the most? I think for me, it's still receiver. You still don't have that true number one. How does the rotation play out with guys like Skyy Moore, Kadarius Toney, Rashee Rice as well? I'm excited to watch that. Let me know which position group you're intrigued by. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's Chiefs Report. My name is Harrison Graham. Give me a follow on Twitter at HGrahamNFL. If you have any questions, hit me up over there. And until then, we'll see you next time.